Ever wondered why we crave the validation of others so much? It's a question many of us have asked ourselves, and the answer is a universal human tendency. We all, in some way or another, seek approval and validation from those around us. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's part of our evolutionary wiring, a deep-seated desire to fit in, to be accepted, to feel a sense of belonging within our social circles. Take Alex, for instance. A young man just like any other, constantly in the quest for approval from his peers. He thrives on their compliments, their nods of approval, their validation. It's like fuel to his self-esteem, but it's also a double-edged sword. He's constantly on edge, worried about what others think of him, anxious about their judgment. But what if this constant chase for approval is doing more harm than good? Let's delve deeper into this in the next scene. Alex's journey took a turn when he realized that the approval he sought was a mirage. A mirage, an illusion, a shimmering promise of fulfillment that always seemed to be just out of reach. Alex found that the approval of others was as fleeting as a summer breeze, inconsistently blowing hot and cold, leading to a roller coaster of emotions. He began to see that the highs of approval were temporary, and the lows of disapproval, though painful, were not the end of the world. This realization was a wake-up call, a jolt to his system, a shift in his perception of what truly mattered. He questioned his relentless pursuit of approval, the energy spent, the compromises made, the self he had lost in the process. It was a moment of awakening, an epiphany that triggered a change in his perspective. The mirage of approval began to fade, and in its place a new journey emerged. This was the beginning of Alex's journey towards self-acceptance. With this new perspective, Alex embarked on a path of self-discovery and self-acceptance. Indeed, the journey wasn't easy. It was akin to traversing a labyrinth filled with twists and turns, with the exit hidden in plain sight. Alex was no longer seeking the approval of others. Instead, he was on a quest to understand himself, to accept his true nature, and to appreciate his unique quirks. There were challenges, of course. The path was littered with stumbling blocks and moments of self-doubt. But each challenge, each stumble, was but a stepping stone on his journey. He found himself questioning his own worth, wrestling with his insecurities, grappling with his fears. And then there were the triumphs. Oh, the sweet taste of triumph. Every time he overcame an obstacle, every time he silenced the doubting voices in his head, he felt a surge of satisfaction. He was proving to himself that he was enough, just as he was. The journey to self-acceptance, as Alex found, was less about changing himself and more about understanding and loving who he truly was. It was about recognizing his own worth, regardless of external validation. Alex discovered that the only approval he truly needed was his own. So, what can we learn from Alex's journey? In essence, it's the powerful realization that our worth is not determined by the approval of others. Alex's story has shown us that the search for external validation often leads to a dead-end street filled with disappointment and emptiness. It's a paradoxical pursuit where the more we seek, the less fulfilled we feel. Alex found the courage to shift his focus from seeking external approval to fostering self-acceptance. He understood that the key to happiness and fulfillment lies within himself, not in the opinions of others. This shift didn't happen overnight, and it required a lot of introspection and courage, but the outcome was a life lived on his own terms, filled with genuine joy and contentment. This story encourages us to reflect on our own lives. How often do we find ourselves trapped in the same cycle of seeking approval? How much of our energy is spent on trying to fit into someone else's mold? The answers to these questions can be enlightening and can pave the way for our own journey towards self-acceptance. The beauty of this journey is that it leads to an authentic life, a life where we are true to ourselves, not swayed by the winds of others' opinions. It's a life that radiates a unique kind of confidence, a confidence that comes from knowing and accepting who we truly are. Remember, the only approval you truly need is your own. Embrace who you are, and the world will follow suit.